Hello, my name is Joe Hurston, president of AirMobile Ministries, and today I'm going to be demonstrating the AirMobile Rescuer, a life-saving water purification system. We're going to be learning the setup and the basic maintenance as well as some troubleshooting in this training session. Now, in the normal course of operation, when you are distributing water to either small or large groups of people, the folks will come with their own vessels. You must assume that the vessel is not clean. If we put clean water into a dirty vessel, we have dirty water. So we've developed over the years a very simple but effective means of sanitizing the vessels. And the key element, Clorox or bleach. What we do is we make a sanitizing solution. Typically in an operation, we encourage the operator to have a 1-gallon water bottle or jug and clearly mark it, sanitizing solution, do not drink. Then the process would be to take some AirMobile Rescuer water and put it into that gallon jug. Then you would add a liberal portion of bleach, between 1/4 and 1/2 cup of bleach. That is a tremendous amount of bleach, but we're making a sanitizing solution. So we would, in a scaled down version, this would be bleach water. Here's the vessel. We would pour the bleach water into the vessel, and then we would work it around, work it around, work it around. If we can cover the top, work it around. Then we take the sanitizing solution and we put it into the next vessel. We empty all of the bleach water out. Now that vessel is ready to receive the AirMobile Rescuer water. Then the next vessel is cleaned in the same way. The most important thing to remember is do not put clean water into a dirty vessel. Now we're going to do the setup of the AirMobile Rescuer. It is important to push in on that handle or this will not open. So push and open. Everything you need to operate the unit is contained in this box. So we first remove the AirMobile Rescuer device itself. And the first step in setting up the unit is to put the feet on the unit. The feet are just simply PVC with a slice, easily replaced if they're lost. The feet stabilize the unit. They also keep the water out of the critical electronics. So, 1, 2, 3 feet. The next step is to get water into the machine. So we remove the cap over the water inlet, store it in the little cap holder on the top. We go into our case and we remove the hose. There are actually 2 hoses. We put the screen on the hose and we put the screen portion into the dirty water. Then we slide the hose directly onto the inlet. Now this gets water into the machine. The next step is to get water out of the machine. So we take the spout, we hold it, we insert straight down until it seats. You'll hear it seat. So that we can direct the water, the clean water that comes out of the machine. We use the second hose, and this is going to be where our clean water is going to go. But in the operation, we're going to let the unit run for 60 seconds when we get it going. After after we've got the feet, water in, water out, next we power the unit. The unit runs on AC, 110 or 240, 50 cycle or 60 cycle. And the unit also runs on 12 volts. But today, and for this demonstration, we'll be running the unit on AC. Now that we've put the feet on it to stabilize the unit, we have water in, water out. We've powered the unit, then we turn the unit on. You put your finger into this opening, and this is what you're going to find. You're going to find this switch right here. And it is under a big plastic covering so that it is waterproof. So, on, off, on, off. So we're going to turn the unit on now. And initially, we let the unit run for 60 seconds, and that cleanses the machine and purifies all the water that is in it. Now that the unit has run for a full 60 seconds, it has cleansed and purified itself. Now I'm going to take the water that was in that very dirty bucket. After it's run through the AirMobile Rescuer, then I'm going to have a nice drink. That's the basic setup of the AirMobile Rescuer. In the next portion, we're going to create some problems that commonly occur during the operation, and I'll show you how to fix those problems. In the normal course of operation of the AirMobile Rescuer, it is very common that the source bucket will get empty. Someone will forget to fill the bucket and keep it going. And I'm going to show you what happens. I'm going to pull the screen out, and if you watch carefully, right here, you're going to see air going into the machine. You can also hear the motor accelerates because it's just spinning and not pumping water. Just like a baby when it's drinking a bottle, when the bottle gets empty, the baby will keep sucking on the bottle and the baby will get gas. Well, this machine, like a baby, has got gas. If I put the hose back into the water, it will restart, but it can sometimes take many minutes. So I'm going to show you how to burp the baby. We turn the unit off. We're going to remove the power. We're going to turn the unit around. And this is what we call the burp valve. What we want to do is we want to remove this valve. If you try to pull that valve, it will not come out. Not until you depress the little collar, and if you listen very carefully, you'll hear a little psh, and we just burped the baby. So we're going to turn it back around, turn the power back on, and you'll see, here comes the water. There it is. And that is how to burp the baby, or to remove the air from the inlet hose. Now, in the normal course of the AirMobile Rescuer, the ceramic filter will capture the dirt that is in the water, and eventually it will get clogged. When it gets clogged, it will trip a pressure switch and the light will turn off. When that happens, the ceramic filter needs to be cleaned. And I'll demonstrate how to clean the ceramic filter. First and always, we unplug the unit. For the cleaning process, we only need to remove one foot. Then on the back of the unit is the ceramic filter cover. We just simply unscrew it. And we can see that filter was snow white when we began, but now that filter has picked up the dirt in the bucket. So I'm going to demonstrate how to clean the ceramic filter. This ceramic filter, by the way, can deliver as much as 40,000 liters of water before it needs to be replaced. We clean the filter with a simple Scotch-Brite. You'll find this on the bottom of many sponges. And all we do is we just simply go around the unit. We go around the ceramic filter very gently. We don't need to press hard because all we're doing is taking the outer layer of ceramic off of the filter. Now, the filter has been completely cleaned and it is now ready to be reinstalled. When we reinstall the filter, we want to be sure that the filter is straight. And by that I mean, you can see screwing the filter in is very gentle and very easy. If when screwing the filter in, it is too tight, then it is probably cross-threaded. Stop, straighten the filter up, and screw it back in, and it should screw in nice and easy. I noted that the O-ring fell into the bucket. We reinstall the O-ring, and then we just simply put the ceramic filter housing back on, snug it just a little bit. We put the foot back on, we repower the unit, then we turn it on. And we await just a moment, and the unit is now turned back on. And that is the way to clean the ceramic filter. And by the way, that ceramic filter has been made by a company that has been making that very filter since 1890. Now we're going to talk about another problem. We've already discussed what happens when air gets into the inlet. We need to burp the baby. We've also discussed what happens when the ceramic filter gets dirty and clogged. We need to clean the filter. The machine will talk to you. The light will turn off. Suddenly, we're in operation and the light turns off. What can be wrong? Now, we've gone through and we've cleaned the filter. The filter's clean, but the light still won't turn on. Then we burp the baby and the light still won't turn on. What can be wrong at this point? We've probably blown a fuse. And I'm going to demonstrate how to replace the fuse on the AirMobile Rescuer. As always, we unplug the unit. Now this time we're going to need to be doing a little deeper work, so we're going to remove the outlet hose, and we're going to remove the inlet hose. Then we're going to remove the feet, and we're going to change the fuse on the Rescuer. Inside this box, there's a toolbox. And in another module, I'm going to go through everything that's in this box. But for the moment, we're simply going to change the fuse on the Rescuer to get it working. So we take our little handy screwdriver with multiple tips, and we're going to remove the 2 screws on the bottom of the unit. 2 silver screws. 1 screw and the 2nd screw. Now it is important at this point to notice that these screws are running this way, because when we reinstall it, we want to remember the position of the screws. So we're going to remove the cover. 2 screws are in it. We're going to slide out the DC module, and right there is the fuse. To replace the fuse, and we're sure we're unplugged, we just remove the fuse, and inside our little special box, we have extra fuses. Then we simply reinstall or install a replacement fuse. There is only one way for this board to go in. This black plug is your secret. This black plug must be in this slot. So we put the black plug in the slot, we reinsert the circuit board, we bring in our bottom cap, we remember that the screws are horizontal. We simply ease them into position, and then we screw them back in with our screwdriver. Now, never over-tighten anything on the AirMobile Rescuer. It is not necessary. All we do is we snug it and then just go a little bit more. And that is how to replace the fuse on the AirMobile Rescuer. Now I'm going to explain another problem that will occur in the machine after an extended period of time. What's happening is we're running the machine and suddenly the light turns off. Now, we go through our normal troubleshooting and we make sure that the baby has been burped. It's clear. Then we clean the filter, but the light still won't turn on. Then we change the fuse and the light still won't turn on. This is what has likely happened. Calcium has built up in the internal components of the unit, and it has blocked the flow. So the machine thinks the filter is dirty, but it's not. The filter is clean because we've cleaned it. What has happened is a very, very small opening has been clogged. We have developed a way of cleaning the internal components without disassembling the whole machine. And I will demonstrate how to do that. First of all, we go to our toolbox. Everything in this toolbox is valuable and important. We're going to take out the tools that we're going to need. We're going to need a syringe. We're going to need a small section of hose. We're going to need a depression tool. And we're going to need needle nose pliers, all contained, and we're going to need some white vinegar. White vinegar will dissolve the calcium. So the first step we go through is we're going to remove the power. After we remove the power, we're going to empty the water out of the main UV module. So we're going to remove the spout. We're going to unscrew the top. Going to remove the bottom. Then we're going to place our finger so, because when I turn this, a large O-ring will fall out and my finger will catch it. So we're going to turn. We're going to empty all the water out of the UV module. Then we're going to add white vinegar into the bottom portion. Until we get to about right there. About right there. Now, that white vinegar is beginning to work on that calcium buildup from this side, but it'll take a very long time. So we're going to speed the process by injecting white vinegar in from the back side. So we take our needle nose pliers, we grab the red clip and remove it off of the top portion of the blue hose. We take our depression tool, we push down and we pull out the top blue hose. Okay, now that we've removed the blue hose from the top, we take our syringe with the blue hose on the end We fill it with white vinegar. We insert it into the connector, and then we inject again and again the white vinegar, and we are injecting and pushing that calcium right out of that very small opening, and that cleans the components. Once we're finished, we just reverse our process. We remove the syringe. We can take our needle nose pliers, hold our blue hose in position. Then we're going to reinsert the retainer clip. Then we're going to empty the white vinegar out. Then we're going to reinstall the top, outlet hose, inlet hose, power. Then we turn the unit back on after we inspect everything. And now our light has turned back on, and we have completely cleaned all of the internal components of the AirMobile Rescuer. Now that we've gone through the simple setup and basic troubleshooting, I would like to explain all of the components that are contained in the AirMobile Rescuer case. We begin with the instruction manual, and not only do we have good explanation, but we've got a lot of pictures explaining each of the processes and the steps that we've gone through. Then once we've removed the unit out, I want to show you what's left in the box, because that's a true treasure. Just for you to see, down in the bottom, we've got a Scotch-Brite, but this is very common globally for cleaning the ceramic filter. We also have gloves, which we recommend you use. If you do not use gloves, I strongly recommend that after cleaning the filter, you use hand sanitizer. Down in the very bottom of the unit, you'll see are the two hoses, and they just wind up very nicely into the bottom compartment. Sometimes, in the course of operation, someone will over-tighten one of the components. We have a strap tool that you insert the strap, put it around, and that will loosen up the top or the ceramic filter housing. Of course, the spout fits nicely right into the backside, into the foam. Here is an extra ceramic filter. Each ceramic filter gives 10,000 gallons in average in normal operation. That means that this unit will provide 20,000 gallons of water, or over 80,000 liters of water. This is what we call a ditch filter. Sometimes, particularly after a flood, there will be a tremendous amount of particulate in the water. Well, the screen will block large objects like sticks and bugs, but a lot of that mud will get through, and that will dirty your ceramic filter sooner. So we have developed what we call a ditch filter. And this filter simply screws on, and the reason we chose this particular design is because this is the most common filter in the world. Every country we've ever been in, we've been able to find this filter. So for heavy particulate, we use the ditch filter. Next, all right. Next in our case, we keep the 3 feet in this compartment. Then for international usage, we have every basic plug for Africa, Europe, Asia, America, South America, Central America. We have the conversion plugs. And it should be noted that the unit does work on 110 or 240, 50 cycle, 60 cycle. In this next compartment, we have a plug that will allow the unit to run on 12 volts. And it mounts on the front of the unit, red to red and black to black. Notice the end is a cigarette lighter. If indeed you have a vehicle, you can plug it in and you can operate the unit portably. But let's say you don't have a cigarette lighter. Well, we have an adapter that will simply plug in the cigarette lighter and we go to 12 volts. There's our AC power cord. And now we're going to get to all that we have contained in this little treasure box. And I'm going to take through, we have needle nose pliers, that's for removing the retainer clip. We have our syringe and our blue hose. We have our depression tool, that's for depressing the collar when we burp the baby or when we insert the white vinegar. Then we have extra O-rings. We have an extra burp valve. We also have got an extra spout. If someone loses the spout, this is an emergency spout. We've also found a way that we can extend the length of our hose by putting one hose here and one hose here and doubling the length of our hose. Then of course, we have our fuses. Now there's one fuse that I haven't yet discussed, and it's this automotive fuse. The automotive fuse goes right on the back where the pump motor is, and it is right there. If you turn the machine on and the pump motor does not run, you may have blown a fuse. Then also we've got one large fuse in here that will go on the end of the cigarette lighter receptacle if that fuse blows. Then finally, well, two more things. We have our handy screwdriver with all of the tips that you'll possibly need. And then we have a crescent wrench, which will allow you to actually remove this module if you need to. So inside this box is every tool that you can need to operate the AirMobile Rescuer in the most isolated area for very long, extended periods of time. Now, after going through all of the troubleshooting, if you have any additional questions, or there's something that you do not understand, or you just can't get the machine running, we encourage you to email us. We monitor that 24/7 globally around the world, and this is the email address: air, A-I-R, mobile, M-O-B-I-L-E, Joe, J-O-E, at gmail.com. And we will respond immediately. In the subject line, say "Trouble with Rescuer," and we will respond to you very quickly. And that concludes the training, the troubleshooting, the setup, and the basic operation of the AirMobile Rescuer.